So the first study is the corporate work-life study, and we've got two people, Ant and B. Ant works full-time in a job he doesn't really like. We've got the salary there, how it's all taxed and what his disposable income is. Then B works part-time, and again we run the same sorts of calculations for that person. We look at how their gross income splits down between what they spend, what goes on a mortgage, what they save into SIP and ISA, and what they pay in tax and national insurance. So in our initial model, the Ant and B retire at age 57 when their SIPs can kick in. Their expenditure in the first phase of retirement is 48,000, which is an increase on what they currently spend, so they're able to do some travelling and really enjoy life in the first phase between ages 57 and 65. Thereafter, they slowly kind of ramp down their expenditure as they've achieved their goals in life and they have less complicated needs. And the model says their wealth at 90 is £800,000, which sounds like a lot, but inflation will have eroded a lot of that. And their strategy is to put surplus cash towards a pension because they don't really need an ISA if they retire at 57. And then here we can see the strategy visualized in terms of their wealth. So they build it up to just over £1 million and then start drawing down on it, largely plateauing it. There's a bit more of a tax burden at the back end as they've utilized their ISA and quite a lot of their 25% tax-free on their personal pensions. And then here is the sources of income that they're using. So living off of earned income, then SIPs and a bit of ISA, and then state pensions kick in. In the Passion into Profit case study, Ant studies ceramics, so he learns how to make pottery. He then builds a home office in his garden such that he is able to make his own stuff and sell it part-time. So he switches from his corporate job into a part-time job that he enjoys much more. And then also what he does is he works until he's 67 because he's largely following his passion. And then the net result is that they've got wealth of about 900,000 when they're 90. In the initial phase of retirement, they can spend about £4,000 a month, and then scales down a bit later on in life. They've also decided that if they're going to work part-time, they can get rid of some items of expenditure, such as maybe not going out for a meal every Wednesday evening when they're tired and come home from work, because they're living a life that they quite like. They don't need to spend lots of money to try and de-stress themselves. So the initial question was whether this lifestyle was actually feasible for them, because there wasn't any point in starting down the route if it just didn't really work. And what actually happens is that there's much more of an even wealth because both Ant and B are now working part-time, so actually the SIP for B becomes quite valuable over time. They also utilize their ISA even when they're working because they've got a small deficit that they're running. And initially I've modeled it so that the ceramics business doesn't actually make any money. That's essentially break even because they haven't actually sold anything yet. So the Passion into Profit is potentially an extra income stream on top of their lifestyle. So we've kind of de-risked this Passion into Profit lifestyle to show that it is feasible for them. So here again we've got the sources of income. Because they have a mortgage, they initially have to dip into some ISA savings. But when that goes away, they can live off of their salary, and then in retirement they get a bit of a second wind because they've now got a bit more money that they can enjoy, and so they have quite a good initial phase of retirement. But the beauty of all this is that while they were working, they were living much more of a lifestyle that they enjoyed. Finally, we look at the stock market sensitivities for the Passion into Profit case, and here we only need 24 years worth of stock market returns because we're retiring at age 67 and then going on to age 90. There's 3 cases where it fails, which are all related to the tech crash around 1999, 2000, 2001, 93%. So that is acceptable because people would change their behaviors if they did face a series of bad returns in a row. And then if we look at the graph, we can see that if you're very lucky, actually the portfolio takes off and goes off into the stratosphere. This is using 100% stock market returns, and in reality people might use like a cash buffer or something like that in retirement so that they're more protected from downturns, but then also they wouldn't capture the full upside. But in summary, this is pretty robust for a retirement case because they're choosing to retire later whilst pursuing this dream, this passion into profit. So what I've been showing you has been my retirement calculator, and you can purchase it through my website, and what happens is I'll populate the file for you using your data, then we'll have a couple of Zoom calls to explain how it works and how it can be optimized for you and your needs. I hope you've liked the video. Give it a thumbs up, let me know your comments, give it a like, and check out my other videos on this channel. While you're here, why not check out some of the playlists on my YouTube channel. We cover things like ETF investing, financial planning, some more retirement case studies. We look at some of the best funds you can invest in, how to achieve financial independence, a bit of a look on Bailey Gifford, which is a bit of a love-hate relationship for me, lots of videos on investment trusts, and then some things on dividend investing. And check out this next upcoming video.